So differentiating inverse trig functions. We're not we're gonna these are questions that may come up in the AP exam, not as much, but they typically do come up. So, a quote from the AP exam, you have to know, the inverse of a trigonometric function x may be indicated using the inverse function notation f of -1 or f inverse, or with the prefix arc. So for example, sine inverse of x is the same as arc sine of x. All right, now here are a bunch of derivatives you need to memorize. Derivative arc sine of x or inverse sine of x is 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared. Derivative of secant inverse of x, that's 1 over absolute value of x multiplied by square root of x squared minus 1. Derivative arctan of x is 1 over x squared plus 1. Derivative inverse cosine of x is negative 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared. Derivative of our cosecant of x is negative 1 over square root of x multiplied by square root of x squared minus 1. And then derivative of our cotangent x is negative 1 over x squared plus 1. So if you look at these, one way you can kind of remember the differences is you see like derivative inverse sin of x is this, and then derivative of inverse cosine is just a negative. You see how like there's the pattern here? That could help you in memorizing these formulas. So some practice questions right here. Find the derivative. So the derivative of inverse sine of 3x. So just plug it in here. Instead of x, it's a 3x. So it's 1 over square root of 1 minus, well, 3x squared is 3x times 3x, which is 9x squared. And then chain rule, we have to multiply by the derivative of 3x, which is 3. Just like that. This one here, derivative inverse tan of 2x squared. Again, it's a 2x squared instead of an x, so we have to use the chain rule as well. So it's 1 over 2x squared squared, which is 4x to the fourth. Sorry, that's a 4. It looks like a 9. My bad. Plus 1. And then we have to multiply by the derivative of 2x squared, which is 4x. Just like that. This one here, derivative arc secant of 5x. Arc secant is this one right here. So this is 1 over absolute value of 5x multiplied by the square root of x squared, well in this case 5x squared, which is 25x squared, minus 1. And again, we have to multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is 5. All right. We're going to actually skip all of these right here. We're not going to worry about it. It does not come up much on the AP exam, so I'm not going to make you guys do these ones here. So let's go to the next page. Just evaluate each function at the given x value. So for these, for these, you're not finding the derivative, you're just evaluating the function. And we can just practice using our calculator for how to do these. So we want to find arc sine of root 3 over 2. So in the calculator, you see arc sine is the blue, like sine inverse here. So second sine, and then do math, do the fraction, square root of 3 over 2. And you should get 1.047. 1.047. Or if you have your calculator on exact mode, it should say pi over 3. Either one of these is acceptable. Again, practice these because you're going to need to do these for some of the practice problems if you need to evaluate, like calculate the tangent line. Right here, inverse cosine, so second, and then -2 divided by 4, -2 over 4. That's a 2.094. 2.094. If your calculator is exact, 2.094 can also be rewritten as 2 pi over 3. Either one is fine. And this last one here, arctan of 1 over root 3. So arctan of 1 over square root of 3. Oh, 3 is 0.52523 or 524. Let's say pi 0.524. If it's exact mode, it's also pi over 6. If you can do these without a calculator, that's great, but if you need to use it, that's totally acceptable. You can go ahead and do these practice questions here.